Hi! Thanks for tuning in to my official YouTube channel. I'm Reverend MeeLing. Been known by Reverend Susan MeeLing, Reverend MeeLing, Susan MeeLing, Lady Dori, Belle. Been known by a few names. Obviously, Mom being one of that. Names being known by. Now, these are just some of the toys that I had collected for my daughter after everything that had occurred, because of the fact that I had to make that decision that no parent wants to have to make, not a loving and caring parent. So after what occurred because of McCoy Elementary School and these staff members and adult volunteers and students of McCoy Elementary School, where I had to make that choice because my ex-in-laws refused to assist and my biological family refused to assist, meaning my biological mother, biological sister, and biological father. So I had to make that choice of how best to make sure, as best as possible, to keep both my son and my daughter safe, as well as be able to provide. So I had to go forward in the San Antonio family court system and relinquish my parental rights legally to my daughter because I couldn't keep her safe. The insurance company had dropped her because of being high risk. And so I had done everything I could, despite everything that was going on, because all that the law firm for McCoy Elementary School, Carrollton Farmers Branch Independent School District in Carrollton, Texas, truthfully needed to do was create an insurance coverage for my daughter to be taken care of. They refused repeatedly, knowing that it was their staff members and their adult volunteers and their students' fault for how my daughter was treated. So despite, and realistically, that was all they had to do, but they didn't want to. They didn't even make an offer for that. I gave them multiple things. And for those who understand legal stuff, the requests that I had laid out, you always aim high, right? But you have your minimum that you will accept. They didn't even want to do the minimum. So instead, in June of 2020, today is the 16th, by the way, and that is what they caused. So they get to deal with that, because literally that was the minimum that they just had to do. But they refused. Now, with all the stuff that's been going on, I bet they wish they made a minimum offer of just that one thing. But they didn't. So, though there were people who I would guesstimate were trying to catch me in the middle of something after I wound up in Washington State, well, I didn't have to bring my daughter's stuff with me, because I was hoping that there'd be a day that I could actually give it to her. I had preferred it to be in person. However, I'll be packing these up along with the other ones to mail to her. And maybe one day I'll be lucky, right? However, I at least made the attempt. Nobody asked me as far as if they knew me in the state of Texas or if my ex-in-laws sort of thing. Nobody actually asked me about my daughter. Not once. They might have told others they did, but they did not. Not once. I did speak about my daughter with some people, but those were people that I got to see on a more consistent basis. Not just random individuals that showed up. That I had this weird feeling about in certain references. You know, like there was a female that kind of reminded me of Christine from the Jade Wolf Coven. Couldn't care less about her. There was a female that even looked like my ex-sister-in-law, Mary Evangelina Nichols Osteen. Definitely couldn't care less about her. Or her daughter, Sandra Marie Osteen, which I thought I saw. Specifically in Olympia, Washington, though, in 2018. And so, as well as Lakewood, Washington, 2018. Nonetheless, despite the fact that I had pretty much been quiet, that was because I had already said quite a bit and nobody paid attention that I knew at the time that was able to help when it came to certain things. There were those who were able to help by listening to me and actually caring. That was extremely helpful. However, I still had to get to the point where I did. And on that day, in that courtroom, who was there when I testified? Anyone that I knew in a long-term sort of way. So, I actually did continue to care, as I still do, about both my son and my daughter. Whether or not certain individuals wanted to accept that reality. And if, hypothetically speaking, in reference to my ex-in-laws and my biological mother, biological father, and biological sister, in certain references, thought that I just stopped caring about my daughter, you never knew me to begin with, now did you? Because if you did, you would know. That's impossible for me to not care. But that also was a nuisance to people like that. So, you know, I actually always have. But I also wanted to make sure I taught my son and my daughter multiple things, such as compassion and concern and action speaking louder than words. But if it can be done in conjunction, all the better. I have a feeling that actions and words of my ex-in-laws and my biological mother, biological father, and biological sister might also add up equally as well. Just two opposite ends of the spectrum. My spectrum, and then theirs. Thanks for tuning in. Comment, like, share, and subscribe to my official YouTube channel. Have a good